A man from the southern Indian state of Kerala traveled thousands of miles to Dubai to buy the latest iPhone. Hours before it went on sale in India, Diraj Palili, who is a cinematographer and a businessman, flew abroad to buy the iPhone 14 Pro in a bid to become one of the first few in the world to own the phone. This is his fourth time that he's traveled to Dubai just to buy the phone ahead of others. Palili says he's always been a technology enthusiast and is greatly inspired by Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, who died in 2011. He says, "This is my way of commemorating his work." And you can see his T-shirt with Steve Jobs on there. All right, from tech to banking. Kuda Bank, a Nigerian microfinance institution, reportedly has reported a loss of 6 billion naira in the fiscal year 2021, which is more than 7 times the 868 million it lost reportedly in 2020. Company's outcome was originally reported by Tech Cabal, a news outlet with a basis in Nigeria that specializes in monitoring the African tech market. We're still trying to get our hands on the financial statements in order to take a look at those numbers. Joining us to discuss further, Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So, what do you make of this development with Kuda?
Okay, we started to do this story principally because of the issue of financial stability, system stability of the banking system in the country. Yeah. And the history of similar initiatives in the past, what has led, what has caused. Now, I salute the development of fintechs.
Yes.
And I've always said that rather than being competition to the banks, conventional banks that you know, they actually complement each other. Yeah. Simply because of the fact that the terrain where most of the fintechs are operating, most of the banks, traditional banks, have not touched on those areas. Yes. And the business model for most of these fintechs is the payments, whether they have the massive payment platforms as the anchor business are doing, they have normally at the back end supported with a microfinance banking license, which is easier for them to get. Yeah. Now, whereas the fintech business upfront doesn't allow them to take deposits.
That's right, yeah.
But just to do lending, as the case may be, the microfinance license enables them to take deposits, at least to fund their businesses. Yeah. So you find that those who don't have microfinance banking license tend to fund their lending operations from the capitals they raise. Yeah. So when you're raising, when you're taking deposit from customers, there is a risk, therefore, that a failure of that institution will lead to the customers losing the deposits. And that's where my concern has been, especially with the regulatory authorities. And I've raised that issue with the Central Bank of Nigeria and other people. And I asked the question, how do we regulate the fintechs? And so you see the 6 billion naira loss by Kuda. Yeah. Anyway, we haven't seen the financial, but fiscally. But this was reported by a reputable site, and I've not refuted it. The capital required for microfinance banks Tier 1 national license is 5 billion naira. Yeah. So a 6 billion naira loss tells you that literally has wiped away the inception capital for the bank. And it raises a lot of issues, and the business model. A lot of people have said that, remember the name, the Bank of the Free. Yeah. And there's no way really banking is free. Banks make money from activities, from financial intermediation. Yeah. Basically taking money from those who have surplus and give to those who have a deficit. Now, but in this case, and then living on the spread, and then the funding requirement of excess deposits are collected, they made the investments in them and make a lot of money. Exactly. And then on the transfer charges that come from other transactions. Indeed, what has happened to Kuda is actually validates the banks when they say they need to earn money to cover the cost of operation, because it's never easy. And so principal issue here is this business strategy. Okay. They've gone out there in the limb to go and start there aggressively to lend money. Yes. And in that process, out of the 6 billion loss, about 2 billion of it is due to bad loan losses or bad provisions. Yeah. And not surprising, because they operate more at the bottom of the pyramid, where the risks are higher. Yep. And unlike the conventional traditional banks, where they have anchor or collaterals for the lending, this Kuda literally has no fallback on that.
Yeah.
They lend based on cash flow or based on their models and other risk management frameworks are developed. And so look at the macroeconomy environment. Who are those worst affected in the last 2 years by the economic challenges we have in the country?
Yeah.
There are individuals who are out of employment.
Right.
A lot of companies are not paying salaries on time, and then a lot of SMEs are out of business. And these are the people. Their core market.
Right.
That so not surprising, therefore, that they have this huge portfolio of bad loans. Another thing that's happened is also they're very aggressive in loan creation. Yeah. Very aggressive in the loan growth. And that has impacted them. So in a basket, the other thing that has happened also is the fact that they have been trying to make the market. Yeah. And so they've been pushed out there on promotions and advertisements. And I keep saying that the market they are playing in, especially if the lead product is overdraft, they really don't need to advertise so much on that because there's a big lacuna, there's a big need there, and people who know that they give these products actually will go to them for it. So they need to reevaluate the cost-benefit analysis they have to do with their marketing programs and advertisement programs. The other thing that has to do with their personnel costs. Yeah. If you have seen the announcement, which I believe that is important to them because of the fund, those who provide their fundings at international financial institutions. So they want to see some other skins as CFO, as CTO, and so on and so forth. So they're going there to hire a lot of expatriate staff at the top end of their company, and that, of course, a lot of money for them. So not surprising, therefore, that their cost of operation, personnel costs are about 1.2 billion naira out of this loss. So it's a basket of that. So summary of what I'm saying is that the next 1 year, 2022 report, is going to be critical. So let us know whether it is a business strategy that would turn to positivity, or the losses will continue.
Chika, just very quickly, that markets that at the bottom of the pyramid, as you talked about, is there? How do we lend to them? Is it? Do they have to? We have to, require more collateral because they don't make as much money. They are more riskier borrowers. How do you address that market without making losses like this?
There's a need. There's a massive need there for this product because you and me know that for a lot of individuals, who are salaried, the major thing is that everything I do is usually cash based. Right. Whereas abroad or some other geographies, where you go, you just bring out your purse. You see about 4 or 5 cards. Right. Even for ShopRite, we have a card where you buy things on credit and so on and so forth. So a lot of it depends again on what? Anchored employment, the regularity of earnings and salary. They call it cash flow lending. Right. Cash flow lending means that your cash flow must be regular. Now, in a nation where the young, which is TM, target market of this group, is about unemployed and unemployed is about 60%. Yeah. You can imagine what can be happening. Gotcha. I see. So business closures affect, staff firings affect
ability to pay back your
loans. Yes. A lot of SMEs couldn't pay salaries, shut down. So those are the people who are affected most in the and those are target market. Yeah. So the macroeconomic environment challenges we have affect this target market of this segment.
We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you coming to talk about it. It's very, very important as far as the banking sector is concerned. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.